elected official with Métis Nation Saskatchewan in hot water. The threats he's accused of making. A problem piling up on city streets, what many say needs to be cleared up right away. And back in the Bridge City, why a star goaltender decided to return to Saskatoon.
This is CTV News with Chantel Saunders.
Good evening. It may have been unseasonably warm this week with melting snow in the city, but for many bus riders, it hasn't solved much. Accessibility issues because of ice and snow at Saskatoon transit stops are still making it difficult and in some cases dangerous to get on and off the bus. Carla Shinkerick explains.
That can be far worse.
This stop is just one example of what bus riders face. Snowbanks, uneven footing and blocked access points. While the road has been cleared, the snow pushed aside has created a barrier for passengers trying to get on and off the bus.
This winter has been particularly difficult, I think, for people riding the bus. The snow, a city has had trouble keeping on top of it.
Robert Clipperton runs the Bus Riders of Saskatoon Facebook page, where riders regularly post photos of stops like this. Snow piled directly where people need to access the bus. Oftentimes, like with this rider, they exit onto a snowbank.
You had a strong, healthy-looking young guy, as opposed to, somebody trying to get off using a walker, or I can't imagine how you'd manage with a stroller.
He adds the risk of slipping under the bus is also high. The city of Saskatoon tells CTV News when clearing snow, grader operators attempt to lift their blades at all bus stops to prevent snow piles. However, there are times when a location may be missed. We understand the challenge and frustration this may cause. Adding, most of the problem locations like this on Taylor Street have now been cleared. But even still, the likelihood of a wheelchair being able to pass easily is low.
Riding the bus on a regular basis, I see a lot of seniors or people with disabilities getting on, so it makes it difficult for them to be able to get onto the bus. With
the city encouraging more people to use transit and the future bus rapid transit in the works, advocates say accessibility at bus stops should be an easy fix.
That it should be taken care of regularly. I know we have crazy weather and it's cold and snowy and then it melts and, it's windy today, but I mean, we have to be prepared for that. So the weather in Saskatchewan is not new.
Some say there needs to be a clear communication between the city, transit services, and snow clearing contractors.
We need a consistent plan, and it would be helpful if we knew what the plan was.
It's definitely a hot topic, with more than 17,000 people reacting to Clipperton's photo on Facebook. Carla Shinkerick, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Wind has been the word of the day in much of Saskatchewan. A wind warning has been in effect for most of the province today, with gusts expected to reach up to 100 kilometers an hour. Environment Canada warned people to be careful on the roads. The wind is expected to ease slightly overnight, but pick back up again tomorrow, with gusts expected to reach between 50 and 70 kilometers at times. And with the wind comes cooler temperatures in the coming days, dipping back down to the minus single and then double digits. Well, Jeff, despite the cooler temperatures coming, we do need to note that we broke more records again yesterday.
We did. Yesterday was another record-breaking day right across the province in terms of the temperatures. And you talked about those peak winds that I just mentioned. We did hit one peak wind of 100 kilometers an hour. That was down in Moose Jaw. I'll talk about the wind peaks later on. But yes, let's talk a little bit about the record temperatures. Look at this. Look at that sea of red. And we're going to part the Red Sea with some. Look at the numbers. As you can see, really warm down in the southwest part of the province. That's not a surprise, but certainly record-breaking for those areas. And even up north, Uranium City is just above zero now, and that's amazing for this time of year. We can tell you now, a lot of these records were sort of incrementally warmer than their old record, but some substantially so. Cypress Hills, the old record was 9.5, and that was set in '86. Their new record, as you can see, 14.2. The old record also from 1986 in the Wynyard area was 2.5 degrees. The new record is 5.2, and Key Lake's old record was just 0.4, but that was just set last year, and today, or rather yesterday, got up to 4.2 degrees. So quite a jump there, and in only 1 year. So that is interesting. What is also interesting is this system continues to move very quickly through our area. Tomorrow, it's going to be a bit on the cool side. Winds will be strong until later in the afternoon, but the good news is they do back off. And then Saturday's looking quite mild. What about the rest of the forecast? Well, you have to come back, and I'll let you know about that.
An elected official with Métis Nation Saskatchewan is facing backlash tonight as vulgar and threatening voicemails he's accused of making circulate on social media. CTV's Stacey Hine has that story.
You're an ignorant. You will never, ever, ever get help from the Métis Nation as long as I'm around.
That message is part of a series of voicemails that some family members of Brent Dignes say he left for them. The Métis Nation Saskatchewan East Region 2 representative later confirmed in a Facebook post that he did leave those messages. Most of them are too vulgar to air. The ones CTV News can share include,
Don't come to any more local meetings. You're not welcome there. You make me want to puke, you dirty rod.
His brother Clinton Dignes says he hasn't had contact with Brent Dignes in years. He says there's been a long-standing family dispute over their late father's will. This is one of the messages left for him.
I'm going to get your and I'm going to tear you limb to limb.
It's very disturbing and it's upsetting for me. And, I definitely don't feel safe.
CTV News spoke with Wesley Black, Dignes's brother-in-law, who contacted RCMP after repeated calls from Dignes Saturday. He says police said there was not enough to press charges or issue a protection order. RCMP telling CTV News, quote, "We do not confirm or deny an individual is the subject of an investigation until charges are laid, if they are laid. This is to be mindful of our privacy obligations." Clinton Dignes says he hopes police will step in.
I haven't been sleeping. I've been up all night watching to see if he's going to show up in the middle of the night or try and, come and bother us.
In a statement, M&S says Brent Dignes has been removed from his leadership roles and that the matter has been referred to the government's ethics committee. CTV News reached out to Dignes but did not hear back. He has issued an apology on Facebook, saying the language he used was inappropriate and unacceptable, and, quote, "does not reflect the standards I hold myself as a public servant or as a human being." Stacey Hine, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Emergency crews were called to a semi-rollover last night near Kindersley that left a mess along the highway. This was the scene east of the community at about 9:30 last night. The semi tipped onto its side, forcing the lumber it was carrying to spill. Traffic was detoured while crews worked at the scene. Paramedics assessed the driver, who RCMP say suffered minor injuries. There's no word on what contributed to the crash. A man arrested by Edmonton police accused of making threats against the Jewish community is now living in Saskatoon. Last month, Edmonton police received a tip about threatening social media posts from the Niagara Regional Police Service in Ontario. The investigation determined the threats against Jewish people originated from Edmonton. As a result, 31-year-old Amjad Jaradad was charged with uttering threats. He was released on several conditions, which include not being within 100 meters of a Jewish place of worship, community center, or event. He is also not allowed to have guns or other weapons and cannot have electronic devices that connect to the internet unless it's for work, and is not allowed to post on social media. A Saskatoon resident has been charged under provincial legislation for providing immigration or recruitment services without a license. Jin Su is facing the charge under the Immigration Services Act. The province says it was laid in connection to an offence that happened between January and June of last year in Saskatoon. The legislation cracking down on people who provide immigration or recruitment services without a license replaced a previous act in 2024, with this being the first charge to be laid under the new regulations. The province says violators face the highest fines for offences in the country, with a legislation designed to protect immigrants and foreign workers in Saskatchewan. RCMP, with the help of Saskatoon police, have charged a man with almost 36 offences related to a drug trafficking investigation. Here's a look at what was seized following a search at a home on 8th Street in Saskatoon and another in Radisson on Tuesday. Fentanyl, meth, and opioid pills were among the drugs seized. 38-year-old Chad Mason from Saskatoon is facing charges of drug trafficking, weapons offences, and failing to abide by his release conditions. People gathered in Prince Albert this week to find ways to combat gangs. Jasmine Pelche talked to those part of the Gang Prevention Symposium.
Jonathan Mubanda took to the podium Thursday afternoon to share some of the hardships he faced following his family's move to Canada.
A lot of kids my age at that time, we got introduced to gangs and introduced to different ways of making money.
He says early intervention from a coach kept him on the right path.
She looked out for us and prevented us from going down that path and getting into a lot of trouble, which a lot of my friends did, and a lot of my friends ended up dying, and some of them locked up in jail, but we were all in just the same neighborhood and we grew up in the same environment.
Mubanda's presentation was part of Prince Albert's Gang Prevention Symposium, which wrapped up its second day Thursday. There were also experts in the field speaking on addressing the issue. The more than 150 participants included educators, social program workers, and youth.
Just kind of here just for general information, just to see how we can better support our clients, the families that we do support.
The symposium is designed to inform participants on ways to support youth in forming healthy social connections. Organizer Jolene Fury says a 24-hour space for youth could deter gang entry.
One of the examples that was used was 3 in the morning, they're out, they can't be at their home, or their home's dangerous, they have nowhere to go, so they go hang out with the people who are out at that time, which is criminals and gang members.
Fury says that when she found out about a similar symposium in North Battleford, she wanted to bring one to Prince Albert. The 3-day symposium at the Coronet Hotel was coordinated through the social support service Family Futures. Jasmine Pelche, CTV News, Prince Albert.
Another Saskatchewan Crown Corporation is increasing its rates. SaskTel will charge more for internet service beginning in March. The company joins SGI and SaskPower with plans to increase rates for 2026. Wayne Mantika has the latest.
SaskTel has sent letters to some customers informing them of a $5 monthly increase in the cost of internet service. It's about 5% for some and takes effect in March. The Crown Corporation says it will cover the cost of fiber network expansion. The letter says this helps us continue delivering reliable service, faster speeds, and leading-edge technology. Notification has been sent to about half of its internet customers.
Crowns in Saskatchewan are supposed to make life more affordable, and all we see from a government is downloading costs.
The NDP say government rate increases are starting to add up. Earlier this month, SGI announced a $38 average annual increase for license plates. SaskPower has applied to the rate review panel for a $5 monthly increase, which is now being matched by SaskTel for some internet customers.
But if you're getting charged $5 more a month here, $10 more a month here, $100 more a month here, all of a sudden your cost of living is through the roof.
SaskTel's increase won't be subject to a decision by the rate review panel. The phone company has long received an exemption because it is not a monopoly service. Internet customers can shop for a better deal. Many communities in the province have more than one service provider, but it's a highly competitive business, and rates between companies tend to be about the same over the long term. Wayne Mantika, CTV News, Regina.
A portion of ceiling at a Saskatoon school collapsed. This letter from the principal of École Canadienne Française was sent to parents on Monday. The principal says an incident occurred in the library where a portion of the ceiling detached. She says no students were in the library at the time. This is the second major roof failure. This picture is from June of 2023 and shows plastic sheets covering holes in the ceiling with a rubber bin underneath. The NDP is calling for the provincial government to address the issues.
Thankfully, no one was hurt or injured in this incident, but it points to a reality and to a truth that I say that there's nowhere in this province or anywhere where children and teachers should enter into a building with these types of unsafe learning conditions.
The Ministry of Education says French language public schools get annual funding dedicated for maintenance, and the school division can decide how the money gets spent. School divisions can also apply for additional funding for renovation projects. The library at École Canadienne Française will remain closed as engineers evaluate the damage and determine the next steps. Nutrien has renewed its partnership with STARS, adding $4 million in new funding for the air ambulance service.
I don't know if I'd be here today without them. Thanks, Ian.
The partnership brings Nutrien's total contributions to more than $30 million over more than a decade. Nutrien's initial contribution helped establish a STARS base in Saskatoon with 921 missions flown last year and more than 10,000 since 2012. STARS says this contribution helps the organization be there for the people of this province when they need critical care.
We are one link in the chain of survival, but we're an important link. And it is very, it's very important to be recognized with support from our partners, both in industry and individuals and in government, because it truly saves lives.
STARS operates 24/7 from a base in Saskatoon, Regina, Calgary, Edmonton, Grand Prairie, and Winnipeg. Saskatoon hockey fans will recognize a new member of the Saskatchewan Huskies who joined the team over the winter break. As Keenan Sorokon reports, it's a homecoming for a Saskatoon Blades record holder.
One of the most decorated players in Saskatoon Blades history is back home. Nolan Meyer, who left Saskatoon as the Western Hockey League's winningest goalie and Blades record holder in wins, shutouts, and games played, is a University of Saskatchewan Husky.
It's just been really awesome to reconnect and see a lot of old faces and just kind of hang out again in the city that I love.
Meyer took an unusual path to joining the Huskies midway through this season. After signing with the Philadelphia Flyers farm system after his junior days, Meyer has played for 5 different teams the last 4 years. As the playing time dried up, he came home for Christmas, first thinking of playing in Europe before a text from Huskies coach Brandon Cote changed his plans.
It was really quite special once me and my family talked and thought about it and chose to come back and stay at home.
Recruiting never ends for Cote these days, with Canadian junior players now eligible to play college hockey in the States after a decades-long rule was abolished. Leagues across the continent are seeing unprecedented player movement.
It's very exhausting. It's just, I don't like uncertainty. I'm a pretty prepared guy, and when it's not, but you have to learn to just do things on the fly and adjust.
But the Huskies have also benefited from the change, with players from the pro ranks or players like Ben Saunderson, who decommitted from his American school to play for the Huskies. And Saunderson is happy to have his old Blades teammate along for the ride.
We have a really good group of guys in that dressing room. It doesn't take long for guys to become accustomed with everyone, and now he's joking around just as he's been here the whole time.
Cote is happy to have a player of Meyer's pedigree on his team, while Meyer is happy to be back in Saskatoon, albeit a few years later than originally intended.
It's always been kind of a dream of mine and a place that I could always kind of not fall back on, but a place that I knew I was welcomed.
Keenan Sorokon, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Still to come, a Canadian among those killed in the protests in Iran. Also, what deals the Prime Minister is inking as he meets with Chinese leaders. You're watching CTV News live from downtown Saskatoon. Thanks for staying with us tonight. A new era in relations between Canada and China on this first day of talks as the two nations sign trade and economic cooperation agreements to boost exports. But still no breakthrough in reducing tariffs on canola and seafood products. CTV's Annie Bergeron-Oliver is traveling with the Prime Minister and shares details of the cooperation roadmap.
A grand ceremony full of pageantry in China's House of Political Power, marking the restart of a Canada-China relationship that has been largely non-existent for years.
I believe the progress that we have made in the partnership sets us up well for the new world order. It's a partnership with new focus and greater depth and a sense of purpose.
Prime Minister Mark Carney receiving a warm welcome from various Chinese leaders Thursday, who said bilateral relations have hit a turning point.
China is prepared to work with Canada to follow through on the important consensus between our leaders and move forward our strategic partnership on a trajectory of healthy, steady, and sustainable development.
Agreements signed today pledge greater dialogue in areas including forestry, tourism, culture, and food safety. On energy, the pact recognizes Canada as an important potential partner in oil and gas.
What we heard loud and clear is China is looking for reliable trading partners that don't use energy for coercion.
So far, there has been no agreement publicly about tariffs, but Saskatchewan Premier Scott Moe, who has been outspoken about the need to remove canola tariffs, was invited to sit in on a meeting with Premier Lee. Tomorrow, Prime Minister Mark Carney will meet with Xi Jinping. Annie Bergeron-Oliver, CTV News, Beijing, China.
Global Affairs says it is aware of the death of a Canadian in Iran as the UN holds an emergency meeting on the deadly nationwide protests against the oppressive regime. CTV's Michael Couture on today's developments, including the response from the minister.
As anti-government protests blanketed Iran in recent weeks, we're learning a Canadian has died in the hands of Iranian authorities. In a post on social media, the Foreign Affairs Minister said, "Our consular officials are in contact with the victim's family in Canada, and my deepest condolences are with them at this time." While supporting the peaceful protests, Anita Anand said Canada condemns and calls for an immediate end to the Iranian regime's violence. According to some estimates, at least 2,500 people have been killed since the Iranian regime began cracking down on protesters. The White House says 800 executions were scheduled for today, but President Trump has been given assurances they will not happen.
The president and his team have communicated to the Iranian regime that if the killing continues, there will be grave consequences.
Perhaps a glimpse of some of those consequences, the U.S. Treasury Secretary announced sanctions against key members of the Iranian government.
Iran's leaders have brutally responded to peaceful demonstrations with violence, from mass shootings in the street to attacks on wounded victims in hospitals.
In an apparent appeal to the Trump administration, a video message from the exiled Crown Prince of Iran laid out his aspirations for the country if the current regime is toppled.
A free Iran will work with regional and global partners to confront terrorism, organized crime, drug trafficking, and extremist Islamism.
Well, that can only happen if the Islamic Republic is ousted. Meanwhile, with the recent crackdown on protesters, Canadians are being urged by Global Affairs Canada to leave Iran now. Michael Couture, CTV News, Ottawa.
Central Canada has been blasted by a blizzard, a nasty winter storm bringing heavy snow, some 40 centimeters in parts, along with strong winds, snow squalls, and bitter cold. There was chaos on highways and roads, and it meant major delays at airports, impacting flights across the country. CTV's Heather Wright ventured out into the snowy conditions.
Weather whiplash, from record high temperatures in parts of the west to snowstorms in parts of the east.
I woke up this morning, I was not expecting to see all the snow.
The snow began falling last night and has kept coming. Environment Canada predicting as much as 35 centimeters could fall in both southern Ontario and in the Ottawa area. While in Montreal, 10 to 15 centimeters is expected. A number of school boards in the Toronto area shut their doors today, leading to the two greatest words for a child to hear in winter: snow day. But adding to the headache for parents, the Toronto District School Board says a glitch in its third-party email system means some families never got the closure notice. For anyone needing to get somewhere today, travel was slow and frustrating. The Don Valley Parkway in Toronto was closed in both directions for hours, while the storm caused delays at airports in Ottawa, Montreal, and Toronto.
It's all hands on deck here, and it's a coordinated effort to make sure as many people can get going as possible today.
This is the first major snowstorm to hit Toronto since 50 centimeters fell during 3 consecutive storms last February. The city's response to those storms called a failure by the mayor, who says cleanup coordination has improved.
Once plowing is complete, crews will begin to remove snow from our streets and sidewalks.
And while snowfall is expected to slow over the coming hours, Environment Canada is not predicting much of a reprieve for people in southern Ontario and parts of Quebec.
I think we could just say kiss any thawing temperatures off from until February.
Environment Canada says some flurries might stick around for the next few days in parts of Ontario and Quebec, but it's the cold temperatures that they say are going to be here until February. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
A 4-person crew of astronauts is back on Earth after their mission to the International Space Station was cut short because of a medical condition.
They deploy around 119 miles per hour, and they'll decelerate it down to about 15, 16 miles per hour.
The crew splashed down in the Pacific Ocean near San Diego just after 3:40 a.m. Eastern Time, capping off a 10-hour descent from the space station. The plan to bring the crew home weeks ahead of schedule was announced on January 8th, marking the first time NASA had to cut short a mission because of a medical emergency. Officials haven't said which of the 4 astronauts suffered the medical issue in question, and they are expecting the crew to return to Houston tomorrow.
I'm Reese. I'm Danelle. And I'm Sadie. And we're here off the Saskatoon Stars to invite you to our 2nd annual Women's Health Organization game. On Sunday, January 18th, we play at Marlis Welcher Place at 4:30 p.m. We're proud to partner with Meantime Connections and Ovarian Cancer Canada to raise awareness and support women's health. How can you help? Bring pads, tampons, and menstrual cups to our product drive.
You can go check out our Instagram page at Student Stars for more information. So, Jeff, what's the weather like?
Well, for the big game on Sunday, things are looking okay. We'll take a look at those numbers right now. And as you can see, we're expecting a daytime high of minus 14 degrees, which is pretty close to seasonal, maybe a couple of degrees below that. Mainly cloudy conditions. And once again, game time. The puck drops at 4:30. That's on Sunday at Marlis Welcher Place. And yeah, it should be a great way to obviously help out people who need these products. So well, let's move on to our numbers here. We've got ourselves -1 in Saskatoon. Right now, Prince Albert's had snow pretty much all day long. I don't know how much has fallen right now. We don't have those numbers, but it has been a snowy afternoon and a windy day in Prince Albert. -1 degree for the Battlefords, and as you can see, sustained winds right now are still quite strong. The Saskatoon's Almanac, our daytime high, 2 degrees. The overnight low was -2, -12, and -23 are typical for this time of January. 7 degrees, the record warm temperature on this date shared by 1942, 67, and 73. The record temperature of -44 for a second day in a row comes from 1907. The sun came up at 9:09 and it went down at 5:24.
Well, coming up, Jeff will be back with this week's After Hours, and later, the Canadian artist whose work was in the spotlight at the Golden Globes.
How happy are Saskatchewan workers? Tomorrow on Your Morning Saskatchewan, we're learning the details of a new study that suggests Canada's prairie workforce is among the unhappiest. It starts at 6.
Well, that's quite the lead-in. I'm feeling fine. And you know why? Skies are looking good. At least a little slash of orange along the horizon there, getting a little more in the way of daylight hours. You know, we're still in the, you know, not quite the dead of winter, but boy, sometimes it feels like it. But it's been warm and it's been really windy today. We will talk about those wind gusts in just a couple of seconds here. But yes, we've got a big high pressure ridge that's set up. And so the storm track basically comes across from the Pacific up north and then comes hammering down on top of us. Now, it's not going to be cold for a long stretch. In fact, we have a cold or coolish, dare I say, seasonal Friday, and then a warm Saturday. So we'll talk about that momentarily. But let's take a look at our numbers just to recap. -1 in Saskatoon, -7 in Prince Albert, and -1 in the Battlefords. And as you can see, kind of windy. All right, the hot spot in the province, that was Loon Lake at 7 degrees. -19, the cold spot, that was Uranium City. Around the province we go in the larger communities, -1 in Lloydminster, 0 in Swift Current and Regina, 1 on the plus side in Estevan, -2 in Yorkton. Into central Saskatchewan, temperatures ranging from -12 degrees in Waskesiu up to 0. That is in Rosetown. A lot of places in the minus single digits and closer to the freezing mark than colder than that. And then up north, though, -18 in Stony Rapids and Collins Bay, -19 in Key Lake. It does warm up to -14 in both Buffalo Narrows and Sandy Bay Island Falls. And down south, a number of communities still on the plus side. A few places at 0, or at least a couple of places at 0. And then as the coldest it gets on this part of our map, that's That's -2 degrees. That's in East End and Melville. All right, on to our futurecast. Well, look at those pressure lines. They're staying pretty close together, like piano wires. But then they start to gap up a little bit as we head into tomorrow afternoon. So that will be some relief from the strongest winds as we roll into the latter part of Friday. Around the province we go, -16 degrees for northern Saskatchewan, -26 for La Ronge, -26 in Stony Rapids, -17 in Buffalo Narrows, and -23 in Key Lake. So you can certainly see a mix of sky conditions for northern Saskatchewan. -13 for both Meadow Lake and Spiritwood, -9 for Kindersley and Rosetown. Rosetown a bit on the breezy side, but it's not like Kindersley's not going to be windy. Windy conditions will prevail in Outlook and Swift Current. Temperatures of around -9 degrees, a little warmer in Leader at -7, -4 in Maple Creek, so not on the plus side for Maple Creek. -16 with windy conditions in Yorkton, windy and -12 in both Regina and Estevan, -9 with windy conditions in Moose Jaw on Friday, and temperatures of around -14 or -15 degrees for East Central Saskatchewan, most places having to contend with some strong winds, as I say, backing off later in the day. -12 degrees for the Battlefords overnight, -11 tomorrow with less windy conditions on Friday, and then 0 degrees, so another mild day on Saturday, but then cooling off big time on Sunday. -12 to start the work week, -7 with a chance of flurries on Tuesday. Prince Alberton area, -16 degrees with a chance of some flurries, mainly cloudy skies on Friday rather, -7 on Saturday, cooling off by 10 degrees to -17 for a daytime high, -14 to start the work week, but milder than seasonal on Tuesday. And Saskatoon's overnight temperature, -14 degrees, staying windy, so blowing snow may create some problems. -12 degrees tomorrow, still breezy until later in the afternoon, and then -3 on Saturday, -16 on Sunday, and Monday starting the work week at -13, but -8 on Tuesday.
Quick, my girlfriend's coming home. You gotta get out of here. I know we've been married for quite a while, blah, blah, blah. Get out.
Break out the PJs and blankies and stave off the cold. Saskatoon Soap's Improv Comedy presents Snugglefest. The cast will be dressed for bed and firing up the laughter at the Broadway Theatre Friday night. Showtime is 8 o'clock. Juno Award winner Philip Chu opens the 21st season of the Lyle Gustin Recitals Friday night. The performance takes place at St. John's Anglican starting at 7:30. Gaming fans can step into the world of Stardew Valley with a live orchestra. The Philharmonic Orchestra brings the game's soundtrack to life with brand new arrangements accompanied by gameplay on the big screen. The concert hits TCU Place Friday night at 8 o'clock.
We used to have love that fishes like a glove on a stormy night when the weather's right. We'll talk amongst the stars.
Kieran Gardner brings folk country to Capitol Music Club Saturday night. The Clavette-born artist performs with the Blucher Boys. Showtime is 7 o'clock.
My God, we have nothing in common.
Kevin McDonald is bringing his rock opera to Saskatoon as part of Winterruption. The show details a troubled relationship from the 90s and a night of misadventure in New York City with Dave Foley. Showtime is 8 o'clock, Saturday, January 24th at the Broadway Theatre.
Well, Jeff, today's pick of the day brought to you by The Great Outdoors.
The Great Outdoors. We've had so many terrific pictures of outdoor scenes, and today is no different. This one comes to us from Darren, and he simply says, Tobin Lake, ice fishing, and you can certainly see all the ice fishing shacks out there on Tobin Lake, up there by Nipawin. So who knows, probably reeling in some big old jackfish. And this next one comes to us from Beverly. Now, she took this last Friday. This is from the Prince Albert area, and in our cul-de-sac. She said this was taken in her cul-de-sac. So a lovely sight to see last Friday. And finally, I'm sure it's all melted by now. And finally from Jeanette, and she describes us or gives us the information. It simply says, just south of Warman. And what a lovely Saskatchewan scene there with the rime ice on the power lines. And yeah, it's a great shot. So thank you so much for sharing that with us, Jeanette. And if you'd like to share an image with us, you can do so by sending it to cfqcnews@ctv.ca. Or you can scan the QR code. And please remember to do two things. Put pick of the day in the subject line and shoot it on the, if you're using a cell phone, shoot sideways, not up and down.
Still to come on CTV News, a golden moment for a Canadian artist. The opportunity she had to put her work before Hollywood stars. A Nova Scotia business owner had an unforgettable experience after she was invited to the Golden Globes. As CTV's Vanessa Wright shows us, the star-studded event put her business on the big stage.
One of the ones that was the most popular that most of the stars picked up was this mug.
Jill Babcock is still riding high after she was invited to Sunday's Golden Globes.
Everything is different. I've never been to California, period, let alone experience something like this.
She owns an engraved glass business in Dartmouth and was invited to host a gift suite at the award show where big-name celebrities could drop by and take a look at her products.
Between the stars that I saw, the producers, the influencers, everybody was so nice. They're so kind, they're so nice, they're gracious. They're very complimentary over the product and seem to love it, which, you know, makes you feel kind of like, okay, phew.
She met some of the biggest names in the business.
Angela Bassett came in and I got to chat with her, and she's like, they're all so stunning and gorgeous. It's crazy.
Her week in sunny Los Angeles brought several unforgettable moments, including a shout out from this Stranger Things star to her niece back home.
Hello, Jolena. He said, give me your phone. I'm going to do a cameo. And it was like, hi, Jolena, to her, and she was thrilled.
Babcock says she already has orders coming in as she reflects on what it meant to represent the Maritimes.
It gives you a little bit of confidence as a small business from here. It gives you some confidence that you're getting the feedback from people of this caliber that are in another country that can, you know, purchase what they want.
As for what's next, she says she's been invited to this year's Grammys, Oscars, AMAs, and Emmys. And while she won't be able to attend them all, feels grateful to showcase her small Dartmouth business on such a big stage. Vanessa Wright, CTV News, Halifax.
When we come back, what's next for Saskatchewan's elite basketball team? And later, what had hockey fans putting their best foot forward?
All right, time for the rural forecast, and we'll take a look around our province. And as you can see, temperatures, you know, in some places just a little bit below seasonal or slightly above. So things are cooling off, comparatively speaking, where we were earlier this week. North and south of the Yellowhead, yes, wind is still going to be a big deal as we roll into tomorrow in some locations. It'll take its time, considering what we saw on the Futurecast. We will see the greatest amount of wind towards the eastern side of the province, but it will all dwindle as we make our way throughout the day. And then, as you can see, windy conditions in southern Saskatchewan, mild-ish conditions around Maple Creek, -4 degrees, but -14 though in Carlisle and Broadview, and both of those communities expecting to see a little bit of flurry activity on Friday. Let's check in on Cardiff. Cardiff also a part of the, right down there in the south eastern corner of the province, expecting some snow and very windy conditions, so I won't be surprised if there are some problems with snow and blowing snow, and so check out the highway hotline if you're planning to go into southern Saskatchewan tomorrow. So, and Cardiff, just a reminder, that's where internet plans of up to 1 gig are available from SaskTel.
The Canadian Elite Basketball League is gearing up for the 2026 season. The Saskatchewan Rattlers, which has now been branded as the Saskatchewan Professional Basketball Club, has announced the team will open the season at home on Thursday, May 14th at 7:30 p.m. They will play the Vancouver Bandits at SaskTel Centre. Communications from the team are teasing a reimagined experience, a new look, and better game entertainment and fan engagement. There is no word on whether the team will have a new name for the season, as the Rattlers name and logo has been absent from communications. Earlier this week, the team announced it was not renewing its contract with Barry Rollick, who was the Rattlers GM and VP of Basketball Operations. The province is creating a new commercial license category for drone-based pest control application. The changes also include one-year license terms for all license types and insurance requirements to ensure drone-based operations have coverage for pesticide drift liability. Rules also now require record-keeping GPS data on where flights are spraying. Additionally, Sask Polytech will be launching a drone pesticide applicator course starting later this year. 7 pesticides and 1 fungicide are approved for drone-based distribution right now by the federal government. Farmers are exempt from the commercial requirements when applying pesticide on their own land, but do need to follow all other federal rules and product label restrictions. Canada's Privacy Commissioner is expanding its investigation into X after global backlash over Grok, the platform's chatbot. It's being used to generate explicit images of real people without their consent. CTV's Rachel Aiello looks into AI privacy concerns and what it means for Canadians.
The Privacy Commissioner is looking into whether billionaire Elon Musk's site X and xAI, the artificial intelligence company responsible for the platform's Grok chatbot, are violating federal law. Canada's top privacy watchdog is expanding an ongoing investigation into X and the social media site's use of Canadians' personal information to train AI models. In light of growing global concern over the platform's AI chatbot Grok being prompted by users to produce non-consensual, explicit, or sexualized images of real people. The commissioner said he decided to expand his investigation to address this issue, given its importance and the potential serious harms that it may cause to Canadians.
Privacy legislation as it is currently on the books will not protect you if someone grabs your imagery online, runs it through an image generator like Grok, sexualizes it, and then shares it with their followers.
Elon Musk companies were informed about the widening probe into whether X and xAI obtained consent to use Canadians' data to create deepfakes yesterday. The same day, xAI announced it would limit Grok's ability to generate explicit images. The federal minister of AI says while Canada isn't considering banning X, there's a government bill before Parliament proposing to amend the criminal code to crack down on deepfakes. Rachel Aiello, CTV News, Ottawa.
Local gas prices now. The average price in Saskatoon is currently just over $1.24 a litre. The lowest price in town is $1.149. On Saskatchewan markets, Cameco was up $3.04 today, and Nutrien finished the day at $94.27. Coming up, going underground to get a new perspective on Roman history. Then tossing out new ideas to support local charities.
Select Hair Services brought to you by Sage, the beauty bar.
Stay with us for another great night of television starting tonight at 7 with Hell's Kitchen. Well, an ancient Roman home more than 2,000 years old is now open to the public. While a lot of the ground floor no longer exists, the underground floor is full of wonders. The problem is that it's down a narrow staircase. So the Colosseum Archaeological Park came up with the idea of a live-streamed guided tour system. A guide with a camera strapped to their head goes down, and everything the camera sees is then played for guests upstairs with an expert's explanation.
And next week, it'll be available on Airbnb. Good gig.
That's pretty cool, though.
It's very cool.
It's a good way to make use of it. Well, here's a unique twist on the teddy bear toss at hockey games. Grand River Collegiate Institute's hockey team in Kitchener, Ontario, organized a sock toss. It's just like a teddy bear toss, except it's with socks. In all, the team collected about 1,200 pairs. They were donated to a group helping with the housing crisis in Ontario.
That is a great idea. That's a really excellent idea.
It
Hopefully
is.
it'll catch on because you know, a lot of shelters can certainly need socks.
Absolutely.
To keep people warm during the cold winter months.
Yes.
We do have some speaking of the cold, some travel not recommended announcements from the highway hotline in and around the Prince Albert area and north of Saskatoon. So check the highway hotline if you're sending out. And before I talk about tomorrow's forecast, I may not get to it. I wanted to talk about the wind gusts. Moose Jaw hit 100 clicks, and then the places that hit over 90, North Battleford, Prince Albert, Regina, and Swift Current and Pilger. Saskatoon only 84. Only 84. So there you go. So tomorrow's going to be sunny and windy.
He's working to fix it.
Yeah.
We don't know. Thanks for watching. Be safe.